All right, we should be recording now.
Excellent.
I'll tell you what, we had a few opening questions. Erin, I don't know if you want to run through those, get us kicked off.
Absolutely. So I'm Erin and this is Evan, and we are representing Family Furniture. So we know that Big Furniture is interested in purchasing family furniture, and just wanted to start out with why you're interested in acquiring us and what's kind of driving your decisions here.
Yep. So my name is David. I'm with Jennifer here. We're part of Big Furniture Inc. And I think, the main reason why we want to acquire family furniture and work with you in the future is that I know that you're very well known in Eastern Washington, and you've been very successful in with high quality furniture products, and we want to be a part of that and be a part of that future.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the compliments of the high quality and everything like that. Yeah, I think that's a great start. Where currently are you located?
We are based in Seattle right now.
Okay.
So we're a local firm, and we've established ourselves here on the west of the mountains, and we want to expand out east.
Okay. Are you looking to like move everything, or you want to keep things on both sides of the mountains?
We would like to keep both.
Okay.
Keep on both sides of the mountains. It'd be great
Okay.
exposure in all areas.
Excellent. And beyond this hopeful purchase, do you have other plans for expansion?
Yes, we'd hope in the future that as our company grows and gain more exposure in different regions, we would like to potentially expand nationally. And we
Okay.
would like to hopefully one day expand and go public.
Yeah, very interesting. Quick question. So how would your acquisition of our company fit with those long-term goals? Where would you see us fitting into that picture?
Yeah, so as I said, we only have a small presence west of the mountains here in Washington, and we gaining an exposure out east would help us gain that more local exposure and hopefully grow and expand as the time goes on.
Okay, very interesting. It's good to hear.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. What's your current employee base? As far as how many employees you have?
Yeah, we are not as big as other firms here, but we have about 100 or so employees here based out west.
Okay. Excellent. And then what's the current like leadership structure of your company?
Current leadership structure, I believe we are more so, it's not hierarchy based, but we do have some sort of hierarchy where it's middle office, middle management, and then upper management. Yeah.
Okay. So along the same lines of you hoping to kind of take over Eastern Washington and then hopefully being able to expand further throughout the nation and then eventually going public, are there plans for what that leadership structure looks like moving forward, whether there would be board positions or anything like that?
I know for sure that it wouldn't be more so an acquisition, it'd be more of a partnership in the sense of we will work with yourselves at Family Furniture and incorporate yourselves within our leadership structure.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
So
and essentially, oh, go ahead.
So basically, we want to keep the family furniture still, the brand still existing. So that is our purpose.
Okay. So would it be the Family Furniture and then also the
Big Furniture? Yep, our company.
so the okay, so
two
the
separate.
wood And as far as like branding goes, so our wood crafting brand that we have established, so that you would be interested in keeping that name and having that kind of live on.
Yes.
So
Excellent.
it's essentially, it sounds like you're a bigger firm that's looking to go public at a later date. And right now, your corporate governance doesn't have a board, but that is something that you would like to do at a later date. Whereas we're a smaller firm, we're managed from the top down, but as part of a sale, we would also like to ensure that our employees have representation, with the larger company and would have the opportunity to be, members of that board at a future date so that we, have some say in the destiny of the company over time.
Yeah, and that's something that we can, that's something that will be done, and we can work on agreeing towards that or achieving that
Okay.
goal.
Right?
Excellent.
We like what we're hearing.
What current benefits do you offer for your existing employees?
I believe we pay about 50% for health, dental, and vision for all our employees. Everyone
Okay.
gets the same benefits across the board from top to bottom. To
Okay.
keep it consistent and fair with everyone.
Okay.
Are your offices dog friendly?
Oh yeah, dog friendly, pet friendly. Out here, we like to take walks in the sun and always take out the dogs or any animals for that fact.
Cats, iguanas, all
Yes,
are welcome.
honestly, yes, very open.
Iguanas
Excellent.
in the workplace. I like it.
Give them the heebie-jeebies just thinking
Mhm.
about it. Do you, as far as your current employee mix, is it predominantly families? Do you offer any like additional support for families? Is it mostly older people close to retirement, younger people just entering the workforce?
I believe it's a mix of both. We like to
Okay.
give younger folks the opportunity to gain that industry experience and knowledge, and also to get their foot in the door for the future potential corporate work. So they
Okay.
usually start off in the warehouse or in the factories, and then as time goes on, we offer them a ladder to grow, to
Okay.
climb.
So how
Excellent.
about the family furniture about your company to offer to your employees?
You mentioned earlier that you're interested in us because of our quality, right? And our quality comes from a large degree the experience that our employees have. So we have lots of employees that have been with us since the beginning, that know the product, the process, the materials very well. But they are more seasoned. So, these employees are late in career, they're in their late 50s, early 60s. And we'd like to see them continue to have a place in the company until they're ready to retire.
So
And,
how many employees is ready to retire in certain years? Do you have that kind of the information?
Well, unfortunately, we can't require employees to disclose that information to us, right? It's a matter of their choice. So when they're ready to retire, they let us know that, hey, I want to retire, I'm eligible, this is my plan.
Okay, so your company will offer that kind of the package to the employee.
That is correct, but really the point we're trying to make is that we do have some employees that are later in their career that want to continue working until their retirement date, whether that's 5 years, 6 years, 3 years, 2 years, whatever it is, it's up to them. We'd like to see them have the option to do so.
And I believe they will. Like I said, we appreciate and are a fan of your products, and having those skilled workers would be a big key if our acquisition and our deal goes through.
So the other kind of mix of our employees is going to be a mix of single parents with children.
Mhm.
So a big benefit to us that we would like to offer is childcare.
Mhm.
So we have roughly, I'm going to say about half or so of our employees that have children. So to be able to support the parents, it's just an opportunity for us to have a more reliable workforce by
Mhm.
having an daycare on site, less stress for the parents if I have to drop my kid off at place one and then I need to go to place two and everything in between. So is that something that you currently offer, would be interested in looking at in the future?
I believe that is something we can look into the future. I think that's all determined on the outcome on what we agree on our terms.
Okay.
But that is, as you said, there's a lot of families with kids, a lot of workers with families and kids. So that's a big um, selling point for most, and for workers looking for a job. So we would consider that in our deal, in our negotiations.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity for mutual gain here.
Mhm.
You mentioned earlier that you wanted to free up some spots in warehouses for people to climb the ranks, right? Whereas we've got, this 50% mix of younger to older employees, many of which are multi-generational. So by retaining these employees that are later in their career, you get that emphasis on quality, you get all of that knowledge that can be handed down to those younger, newer employees, right? And by offering opportunities to families to have daycare on site, then you help to retain those families. They learn the business, they get those jobs as they open up, and then they work up through the ranks. So I think this could really work in both of our favors.
Mhm. Agree, totally agree.
Excellent. What is your average salary for your employees?
Our average salary is under 40 at the moment for our employees, and we look to keep it at that right now, but also would give annual increases depending on sales and performances.
And so when you say under 40, is that like 35?
Currently, it's at 35, yes.
Yeah, the average for our folks is a little bit higher. It's
It
at
is.
40.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just the tenure over time, getting the increases, every year. It results in a higher average wage.
And with having the strong reputation that we've been able to build, I think our employees are a huge part of that. To be able to support our brand and make sure that we're providing the best quality furnishings as well. So definitely wanting to keep the employees happy is key.
Of course, especially for a family business such as yourself. That's very important.
Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, so think about the acquisition part. Seems your company provide higher salary, higher benefit, and that will make employee happier. So that part is the key value of your company. And think about the dollar of the purchase amount. I think we probably need to discuss that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So Debbie, what your thought about the the dollar value?
Mhm. Yes. So dollar amount, and let's go straight to that. We were looking to offer a total of $8 million for the firm, for your company. Taking into account all the current factors, especially when it comes to cost of benefits, salaries, and current workforce. And yeah.
Yeah, because we think about your key value is employees, and you want to keep the same benefit, same salary for your
Mhm.
employees. So that will cost a lot once we combine the two company together. So we consider that part. So that is our best offer at this moment.
Okay, and where did you come up with the $8 million figure? Just out of curiosity.
That is based on the value of your land and manufacturing buildings, also including your business, so your brand,
Yeah.
the family furniture brand, and your woodcraft brand. So
Okay.
that's, we took into account all that costs and the value of the brand altogether and all that.
Okay. Yeah, that number is quite a bit different than what our experts had provided us. They told us that the current value of plant, property, and equipment and company goodwill is $16 million. And then when you take into account the value of the brand in future earnings and you discount that to present day value, you're looking at another $6 million. So our figure was actually 22 million that we were looking to sell, taking into account all of that.
Okay. We can definitely work with that and work on trying to figure out the nuances with that. I know that right now we can increase our offer. That's dependent on if we could lower the half the cost of the benefits for your current employees. You would still get the benefits. It's just be at half the cost for us and for them. So
So what is,
I know. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, you can finish.
Now, I know that you were asking for family care, family and daycare, and that's something we can also, we don't have that currently, but we can incorporate that in our structure if it would mean a little bit lower asking price. And there's some other factors we can also put in there as well.
Okay. I think we can probably come to an agreement on that. There were a couple of other items we should probably talk through as well. Just out of transparency, I want to let you know that there are going to be some CAPEX requirements on the part of the business in the coming months or years to the tune of about 1.4 million. So you are going to have to invest in the business. We'd also like you to invest in our employees as well. We'd like to see them benefit from this sale as well beyond, just the childcare benefits we talked about earlier. We're hoping for a wage increase of 7% across the board as part of the acquisition to their average salary of 40K.
We can definitely offer that. I know that since you're a smaller local company, our long-term plan is to go public. And if I say we could offer your employees stock options in the future when we go public, would you be willing to lower your asking price in that sense?
I think that depends on where you're willing to raise your asking price to.
Oh yeah, wait, is it loud? You can. I switched in my head. So sorry.
Yeah, because Debbie and I, we think about, you just mentioned the 60 million, that would be a very challenging to us. So we kind of a little shocked about the price, a little bit. So we do need to have further calculation to think about, and we do really want your reconsideration about lower the price.
Yeah, I mean, essentially giving you the future value of the brand and the current value of the assets seems pretty fair. I mean, if we were to go from 22 to 16, I mean, that's a huge decrease.
Yeah.
I think we could probably agree that just handing you the future value with no investment would be very fair.
Well, I think you should see the benefits of the potential of going public. That is a goal that we will want. And I believe that if we would offer your employees or family furniture and enough incentive, I like to say stock options is a big deferred compensation factor that a lot of companies do. And we can offer your employees that.
Mhm.
And that is future value, and that can be future future cash flows that could be very beneficial in the long run. So that's our sense on that, our take on that.
All right, perfect.
So-
I like it.
Yeah, I think the stock options is definitely a good route. Going back to the average salary though, and what you would be willing to pay as an increase to the employees. So again, we do have a bit of a gap to bridge there between your 35 and our $40,000, and then what we were asking for as far as an increase goes with you buying us out. Do you have thoughts on an amount a percentage amount that you would be able to increase the salaries in order to retain the high quality employees that we have?
Our ask at 7% puts the average salary at just about 42.8.
Yeah, I think the salary will bundle with, we'll consider about how much we're gonna purchase the purchase, the amount would be. So that will put together to consider about that. So before the salary and before to discuss that, what's your idea, how much you're gonna consider about the acquisition?
Mhm. Yeah, our thought was, we're worried about these guys getting scared when we sell to you, right? The moment a long-time employee without equity ownership hears that their company is being sold, their biggest fear is, hey, I'm about to lose my job. I need to go find something, right? So our thought was that if you give them this raise, if you give them the promise of an equity stake in the company, then you guarantee retention of those employees. So that's where that 7% came from. And that's where a lot of these other asks came from. So I think if we went down from 22 to that fire sale price of 16, right, just the tangible value of all of those assets and inventory down to 16 million, and you were able to commit to a $1.4 million investment in capital expenditures over the next 24 months, and that we got that 7% increase for the employees to 42.8, and those options you offered, I think we're getting pretty close. And you add into that the daycare, the dog-friendly environment, and then the maintained presence in OMAC, and I think we're on this side of the table, and I don't want to speak for Aaron, but I think we're probably pretty happy. What do you think, Aaron?
Yep, I agree. Absolutely.
Jennifer, is that something you'd be willing to offer? I think that we can get, if we were able to stretch out that increase and stretch out the increase to the wages over the span of a couple of years, just so we could get our cash flows in line. Because when it comes to acquisitions, that's money up front that we need to give up on our side. So we're willing to agree on the increase if it's over a span of a couple of years. They'll see that increase, but just marginally. We'll get to that goal of 7%. And it was a 1.4 million investment over 24 months.
Correct.
That is something we can offer if it means that if it's over that span rather than upfront.
Okay. So would the 7% wage increase also be over that 1 to 2 year span, or are you thinking that is a different time frame?
I think between 3 to 5 years would be beneficial in that sense.
Would 1 year be a compromise? I mean, with inflation at 7%, you're basically going to be maintaining their salary in a year. They make the same money.
And if you did it over 5 years, I mean, that's basically just a little bit over a 1% increase each year, which isn't necessarily fair for the quality workmanship that we offer.
Yeah, but please also consider about our current salary, which is less than your employees. So we kind of need to keep balance. Of course, we will separate two different companies, so that won't be the issue. But consider the employees, their emotional feeling. We already have the salary gap. So we will increase your employee salary for certain years, but not just jump into the every 7% every year. So that will impact to our financial report a lot.
But that 35,000, where are you located? You know, the salary that we pay our employees is fair for the location. Washington State is not cheap. So, I mean, if you're comparing an average salary here to an average salary in, say, the middle of Ohio, well, you're comparing apples and oranges. So, you know, help us understand, are we talking about employees working in San Francisco making 35, or are they somewhere else in the country? I mean, that 40 is a fair wage for the region. That's what the prevailing market wage is.
And again, it's for quality employees. One of the reasons that you're looking at our company is because of the fantastic brand that we offer. And again, the big supporting factors behind that is not only the family business that we've built, but also a huge part goes to our employees, where we wouldn't be where we are now without them. So I think that has to be deeply considered.
Yeah, I think we are almost there, and consider the employee, the human resource is very important, and lower the 60 million a little, lower the amount, because we need to put more money on the employee and to keep that package and to guarantee that package for the employees. So for that part, can we trade off about the dollar amount a little bit?
Can you come and present us with a counteroffer?
David, what do you think?
What dollar amount are you looking at, Jennifer?
And I think I do some calculation based on how much cash we have. So the right now would be 12 million. So we almost increase our 50%.
Okay, so I think that's still a little low for where we're valuing our assets of, even if you just take into account our land, building, and equipment. I think that number is still a little bit below market value. Definitely better than the 8 million where we started. So we're trending up. If we could, again, perhaps just kind of reiterate our quality, the brand support that we're bringing, and it really feels like family furniture can help drive big furniture towards their goals of becoming public and becoming a nationwide brand. So to help make those steps happen, I think coming back to something closer to that $16 million plus the additional 1.4 million in CapEx, I think would be a little bit easier for our team to swallow.
Are there any other reasons why you might not be able to offer 16 million beyond your cash position? You know, it's a hard pill for us to swallow, given that you know, we had a third-party service evaluate the value of the inventory and the land, and they told us it's worth 16 million. I can appreciate that your cash position is not strong, but that doesn't seem like a sufficient reason for us to take a 25% hit to the value of our property, plant, and equipment.
Well, I think you have to consider that we have some exposure in the grand scale, on larger operations, and that we could use your brand to expand that. And with that, we have a larger or bigger opportunity to expand nationally and go public. So that's the trade-off we're seeing, is where we would offer a lower price now, but the trade-off in the future would be exponential. It will just grow from there.
Okay, so how about this? You offer us your cash position and then an equity stake that is worth that 25% so that we enjoy that eventual growth. Would that work?
Jennifer, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm thinking about, so for the 1.4 million, the capital investment, that will include it to the 60 million. Am I correct? Or additional?
That would be in addition, but
Additional.
those are expenses that you're gonna have with acquiring any business. Essentially, what we're telling you is, hey, we've been around for a long period of time. We have some machinery. It's probably gonna have to get replaced here in the next couple of years. So we want your commitment to replace that machinery, one, to ensure that, you know, our legacy of having a quality product continues over time, and two, to ensure a safe working environment for our employees.
I think that investment in the products or in your equipment could come over the span of a couple of years. I know that the salvage value for those equipment is a long period of time, actually equipment for furniture, making furniture. If we are able to commit to that after the purchase, before or after agreeing on the purchase, would that be something you'd be okay with?
And unfortunately, when it comes to quality and safety, we're pretty firm. We'd like to think that anybody who's interested in acquiring us for those specific things would be interested in advancing them as well.
All right, so to be honest, our position and we got the total budget, the maximum is 60 million. So if we want this acquisition success, so we need this 1.4 million capital investment included to this 60 million, and then we can grow together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we get your upfront cash position, we get a 25% equity stake. We get a commitment to the capital expenditure, because big furniture and small furniture, we all love safety, right? Nobody wants, the dogs running around in an unsafe factory. So we agree on all of those points, then we can move forward. And I think we had achieved some degree of compromise with the other items as well.
Mhm.
Really, I think the only outstanding question was the salary, right?
Yes.
Yep.
It seemed like a very important sticking point for you, that we reduce our average wage increase over time by some degree. Would 6% be amenable to you instead of the 7% that we'd asked for? I think we'd be okay with 6, given that they're also going to have stock options and the
Well,
daycare.
we would give you that, your original asking, if the total purchase price of the deal is 16 million, and that's already included with the 1.4 million investment. We can match it. It would take time for our side to catch up to those wages, because we would have to invest on our end, and that reduces our cash flows over the span of a couple of years.
But it's largely symbolic to the employees. I mean, if we have 60 employees, they're making an average of 40,000 a year. let's just do some math here.
Mhm.
That's 2.4 million. So what is 2.4 million and 1% of that? Yeah, $24,000. So it's not a lot of money. 24 grand to retain some of the best employees and workers in the region.
So you just mentioned 60 employees.
Right.
So how many employees your company have right now?
Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. It's 120 employees. So 48,000. My mistake.
So that's that means that we have a little bit less. So we have to take in a little bit more on the wage bill when it comes to that, and especially to meet your wage requirements would have to it would cost more for us to reach to that.
I understand. I'm trying, essentially, I'm trying to find some compromise here.
Mhm.
Something that we can take back to the employees and something that
Mhm.
works for you that helps us
Mhm.
free up this logjam on what seems like a pretty small item, given that we've agreed to some of the bigger dollar amounts.
Mhm. We can give you that if, like I said, we can give you that wage increase, that 7% increase, if that's all agreed that the total purchase price is 16 million. I don't know, we have subtle differences there on that, on the wages.
So I'm thinking maybe we take a second look at a few things.
Mhm.
The capital improvements is definitely key to our business success.
Mhm.
And I think that really needs to be taken into account with the purchase price. So if we add our ask, which was 16 million for the land and building, and then the 1.4 million for the CapEx, so 17.4 million. If we decrease that to, let's just say, an even $17 million, and then also agree to perhaps a 5% increase for our employees, is that something that would work for big furniture?
Let me crunch the numbers really quick on that. Let me do the numbers. I think based on our current cash flow, we don't have enough money in reserves to offer that much.
That should improve your overall position though, right? So if you're gonna forego that 240,000 over, say, the next several years, and then the upside to you is not having to pay 400,000 now, isn't that cheaper overall?
Am I doing the math in my head right?
No.
No, I don't think I'm doing it right.
I might not be doing it right either. It's late in the day.
Well, that's where you said it was a 5% increase.
Yeah, so
to
decreasing from a
wages.
7% to a 5%.
Mhm. But you would go at, that's going down from 17.4 to 17.
Correct.
Right.
What if we meet your original one and increase it rather than 3 to 5 years, it was between 1 to 3 years? I know that was another talking point we had, because we would rather see that increase in wages in a shorter amount of years rather than across a longer amount of years. Would that be something to be okay with?
I think if we're going to spread it out over several years, then we might want to look at something like a one-time cash bonus for like the initial signing
Mhm.
for like the employees switching over. Again, just to make sure that they feel a part of the family still, and that we're not
Mhm.
just completely cutting them out. I know we have the offer on the table still for the stock options, but that's a future investment. So to be able to offer them something upfront, like a cash bonus, and then to say, yes, we can offer 7% over the next 3 years, I think that might be something that could be doable.
Yeah, honestly, we think the people is most important. So we are willing to handle that part, to manage that part, and to meet your requirement. And so we are consider about the purchase amount rather than to consider the employee salaries to increase that part.
Mhm.
So the most important things is the purchase dollar, that part. We really need to you guys to consider the the capital investment and the lower the 60 million. So regarding the employee increase, the wages increase, that part, if we are okay, like David just mentioned, that we can meet the 70% for certain years. And can we discuss about the purchase amount that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm worried that we're taking one step forward and two steps back here.
Yeah.
Why don't we back up to the 17.4 that we talked about, including the CAPEX, and that's 7%. And if we offered you, we'll go with your concession down to 5%, just to help free up this logjam. And Aaron and I can bonus the employees out of our pockets.
So what would, okay, so it's 17.4 to at 5% for your.
Right.
for
Essentially, we go back to
Mhm.
your initial counteroffer. I think that the offer of the daycare and the stock options should be more than enough to appease them.
I
You
agree.
know, but yeah, but at 5%, you are going to have to realize that you might experience higher than, you know, normal attrition rates over time.
Mhm.
And you're going to have to manage those on your own.
We understand that. So what is the final money value that you're looking to agree at?
It was 1.4 CAPEX, 16 million, but 25% of that is going to be an equity stake, no cash. And then your cash position, which I believe was, what was it again? Is it 12 million, if I remember correctly, 25%?
Okay, so I'm gonna do the math. Would that be 13.4? Am I doing
No,
math
it's
okay?
12 million, 4 million in
million.
equity, 1.4 in CAPEX, 5% increases to the average salary of 40,000, stock options, and then the family daycare
Take care.
and the dog-friendly environment and the continued presence in OMAC.
I think our counter that would be flat at 16 will give you a higher increase to the wages at 7 immediately and you would still get the stock options and the benefits of the daycare benefits and the dog-friendly offices.
The 17.4 sounded so good. Why was it okay like 5 minutes ago and not okay
Yeah.
now?
No, it was 16 million flat altogether.
Plus the
Rather
CAPEX.
Well,
Remember, we
that's-
talked about the
We
safety.
lowered our capital expense to just 1 million, so 17
Mhm.
million.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
it was
fine.
16 for building,
Yeah.
and then we lowered our capital improvements from 1.4
Mhm.
to 1 million,
Mhm.
and then also decreased our wage increase from 7% to 5%.
I think the a little confused about here. So Evan, can you type the you just mentioned that on the chat? Why we don't make that agreement at the beginning? Because at the beginning you ask 22 million. So that is the reason.
Yeah.
Well, also at the beginning you asked for 8 million, so
Yeah, so we are look at the in between, because we to us the purchase amount is more important, because we need to consider about the cash level, and we do appreciate the employee part. So we want to put a lot negotiation, we will follow and also rely on your asking.
Can you throw your breakdown in the chat, Evan? I think I need to see it in writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Sorry, trying to toggle between multiple windows here. So we'll go 17 million acquisition price. 25% of that is equity. The rest cash. And 1 million of that is a CAPEX commitment. And then we had 5% per annum salary. And there was a delay on that, right? It wouldn't start for, what was it?
It was over 3 years.
Yeah, salary over 3 years. Stock options for employees. And doggy / kitty daycare. And board membership for employees. And go public. And continued presence in OMAC. I think I got everything right.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm working on the math real quick in my head too.
So
Does that
25% of the equity, so which means would be about 50 million and 25 25 million in cash.
12 million cash.
Yeah.
And then 4 million equity.
Yep.
And 1 million CAPEX. You gotta keep all those doggies safe while they run around the factory, right?
okay? So when you talk about 4 million equity, that's the options. That's the options that for your employees, right?
No, that's for us.
Yeah.
The
for
options
the
are,
family.
That's the equity stake in the company. Okay.
yeah, no, the stock options are you guys go public and then you
Yeah,
have
you have stock
an
options in
employee,
employees.
yeah, exactly. You know, a 5% match, whatever it is that your company does.
So then are you looking at a $13 million cash price acquisition?
Well, actually, it's only
With-
12. So it's
12.
12 million cash,
Mhm.
4 million equity
Mhm.
when you IPO, and then
Yeah.
1 million CAPEX when that PPE, plant property and equipment, sorry, it's getting late, needs replacement.
And that we're projecting that to be over the next 24 months.
Mhm. I think that works. I need to ask Jennifer that too. Jennifer, do you agree with that?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Perfect.
So-
Congrats. Awesome.
Yeah, that works with me.
Awesome.
Very exciting.
Yes. Thank goodness. We'll
Furniture
drop
for
off-
everyone.
we can drop the
Yeah.
video and